think he has a red, a blue, and a black version of this. And then, of course, he has the tank tops. He has the hats, always
1,000.
representing. 3-bet here from Negreanu. We haven't seen much of that in the match so far.
Playing 150 big blinds deep on High Stakes Duel 4, round 1. Playing for a bunch of money. Eric Persson opts the limp, the 4-3 suited. Daniel Negreanu makes it 3.3 big blinds. From the big blind with Jack-10 offsuit, he's out of position. He doesn't make it too big. He wants to get action. He's flexing his muscles. Let's go to the flop.
Excuse me. There's a limp in a race. Ace-Jack-7 on the flop. Negreanu with the best of it here.
Check.
The flop comes Ace of Hearts, Jack of Diamonds, 7 of Clubs, giving down Negreanu, middle pair, backdoor flush draw, giving Eric Persson 4 high, backdoor flush draw, backdoor straight draw. Negreanu, with his very clear marginal made hand, checks. Eric Persson decides, no, I'm just going to check it back. Let's go to the turn.
2,000.
That's 2,000.
Oh, you're doomed.
I'm doomed?
You're doomed.
The turn is a dicey card for Negreanu. It's the 7 of Diamonds. Negreanu, again, with its clear marginal made hand, he checks. Over to Eric Persson, 4 high, but a flush draw. This is an excellent spot to bet, and I think it's a really good spot to bet using a relatively big bet, given they are somewhat deep stacked. This is a spot where Negreanu could have a 7, but more likely than not, he has either a bad ace, a jack, or some sort of pocket pair, maybe king high. And if you think about Persson's range that wants to be betting in this spot, it's going to be a whole lot of like aces and better, and a lot of those hands are going to be 7s, because a 7 would limp pre-flop, call a raise, check it back with bottom pair, and now have trips, and really, really, really want to make the pot big. Also, Persson has a whole lot of draws available, mainly flush draws, perhaps some gut shots that decided to not bet the flop, or just a total bluff with something like King X or Queen X that has an overcard to the jack. So this is a spot where when Persson should be betting with a range of value hands that mostly beats Negreanu's marginal made hands, something like an ace or better, and he has some draws that have some equity, this is usually a very good spot to bet big. So the pot's 2,000. Persson does bet 2,000. I don't mind it. He may even want to bet a little bit bigger in this spot if he really wants to apply a lot of aggression, especially if he thinks Negreanu is the type of player who is checking, looking to call down a lot of the time with a hand like a jack or pocket kings or something like that. So I think he can go either way between a large bet and a gigantic bet. He does pick merely a large bet. Let's go to the river.
Finally.
I might be doomed. What did he do?
5,000, sir.
5,000.
Am I doomed?
You're doomed.
The river is the 7 of spades. Down Negreanu has a full house. Captain Zebo theorem, nobody folds full houses. Negreanu checks. Eric Persson with a 4 high. Absolutely nothing. He grabbed a pile of chips and put them in. I initially thought he was betting 25,000 into 6,000. I thought, ho, 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 putting the hammer down, I like it. He's basically saying I have a 7. But no, he did not bet 25,000 into 6. He bet 5,000 into 6, a much more reasonable bet. I think this is a spot where he potentially could go bigger in general, because you have to realize he is trying to get Negreanu to fold out a hand like pocket 8s or a jack or king high. And look, when a lot of draws miss, those hands really should find calls a lot of the time. So the way you disincentivize those hands to call is by typically betting bigger. Now, of course, some people will just call a big bet every time because they think you're trying to buy the pot. But in GTO world, which I know Negreanu has been studying a decent amount, heads up, I think this is a spot where he's just going to fold more often as you bet bigger. So I probably would have gone a little bit bigger. Maybe even a little bit more than the size of the pot. And I would also do that with an ace and a 7 because those are basically always good. 7's obviously always good, but an ace is almost always good too. That said, 5,000. Let's see if Negreanu makes the call.
Doomed by what? You just have like ace-3 off?
You're doomed by, I feel like you have a jack and you have to make a call.
Wow.
I have to?
Yeah,
No, there's no have to.
I don't think you can get away from this, sir.
I can't. I might. I probably will.
I don't think you will.
Wow. I think I will.
That's great.
Yeah, well, look at this.
We'll know
Bluff
in
me.
10 seconds.
He just told me what I have. That's my move. Tell people what they have and then bluff them off of it. I'm gonna use one of these.
For a recreational poker player, Eric has a pretty good read on Daniel's hand in this exact scenario. If someone was to read you just like that on the river and then tell you your hand, would that make you more likely to call or less likely to call, given we are in a spot where we are bluff catching? Take a second, think about it, and let me know in the comments section down below.
This is what I do. That's my thing. I tell them what they have.
Well, it's too late. I already did it.
You did. So you tell me what I have.
Maybe I saw it from you on TV.
What do you have, though?
What do I have?
Yeah. What are you pretending? You have an ace?
I don't need to pretend.
You're saying ace. Why'd you bet so much?
I feel like you have a jack and you have to call.
It seems honest. But he's a car salesman. How am I supposed to trust that? I'm kidding.
You got a chip lead.
That's true. I don't know, you did the ace little limp thing before, so maybe you're doing that again.
Maybe you're overthinking.
You're right, I am overthinking, so I'm just gonna fold. Go with the first gut.
Wow.
The 3-4, damn it! The
Oh my
diamonds.
God.
You're
The
right,
speech
I had
play
it.
worked.
Very nice.
That was amazing.
Now you do have to call next time.
Wow.
Obviously.
I'm so
But that's
impressed
my
right
move.
now.
Tell them what they have, and then they're like, oh man, if he knows what I have, I guess I gotta fold.
Look, when someone names your hand, and it's a hand that probably should not fold, and then they still want to put in money, and it's the amount of money that's actually kind of a reasonable amount, I mean, that seems strong as strong could be to me. And look, I don't know if I would have found a fold with this full house like Negreanu did, but I think it's actually quite reasonable because I think Person's gonna have a whole lot of good hands when he says this. That said, it's important to realize that a lot of people who do a whole lot of talking at the table, and if they are playing decently high stakes, are probably pretty good at that skill. And of course, Negreanu does a lot of talking too. I'm sure he is one of the best table talkers in the world. That said, against some people, you just don't want to play their game. And if I know that Person relies on table talk, and I don't necessarily have a clear read on what his table talk means, just ignore it. Of course, you always want to be trying to pay attention to everything at the poker table, but if you cannot decipher any clear information from the things your opponent is saying, just ignore it. That said, this Jack 10 is a spot where you should always call in GTO world, but given the way Person acted in this hand, I certainly do not fault Negreanu for the fold. He does let it go. He concedes the pot. Person scoops a nice one, but it did not help him. Negreanu later crushed his soul and won another round of heads-up duel. That's me for today. If you enjoyed today's video, do me a favor, click the like and subscribe button below. And if you want to see another round of High Stakes Duel featuring Daniel Negreanu and the great Phil Hellmuth, self-proclaimed greatest heads-up player in the world, where Hellmuth ends up being furious. We have that video lined up for you next. Good luck, have fun, and if you bluff, I hope you can get your opponent off of full houses.